military and government won't have to worry about Iran's nuclear bomb capability. All they would have to do is be able to strike strategically those nuclear reactors with just conventional missiles. And those nuclear reactors would be far worse than any type of nuclear bomb it could be made, because those nuclear reactors are like volcanoes that will be constantly spewing out radiation. So nuclear missiles won't even be necessary with the destruction of America. But not to say that there won't be nuclear missiles used. Today, the Islamic regime has 19,000 centrifuges online, 10 tons of low-enriched uranium, 400 pounds of highly enriched uranium at the 20% level, and 1,000 ballistic missiles in heavily fortified facilities or on mobile vehicles. It is also working on its Iraq reactor, which could produce plutonium as a second path to nuclear bombs, and on an intercontinental ballistic missiles through collaboration with North Korea. All right, so again, we know that North Korea has long said that they want to destroy America, and they're a partner with Iran, and in collaboration together, they're getting together intercontinental ballistic missile capability, meaning that these missiles can go from continent to continent. They can travel the length or the distance to go from one continent to another. That's what an intercontinental ballistic missile is. Not just a missile that can hit only within a certain range or region. These missiles can be launched and travel to a whole nother continent. All right. It says here, days before the start of negotiations in Geneva, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, laughed out at America and Israel. Today, Americans care the most for the decadent Zionist regime and circles because the Obama administration and Congress are dominated by powerful capitalists and Zionist companies. But we are not forced to treat them with care. We have said since the very first day of the Islamic Revolution, and we do say it now, and we will say it in future as well, that we believe the Zionist regime is an illegitimate and bastard regime. Read that again. We have said since the very first day, and we do say it now, and we will say it in the future as well, that we believe the Zionist regime is an illegitimate and bastard regime. Now, if scriptures and precepts aren't popping in all over your head from that statement, then let me go ahead and get them. Let me go ahead and pull these scriptures up that come into my head. Of course, Revelations 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, who say they are Jews, but do lie. All right, so they're an illegitimate regime. They are not the true people. Iranians know they are not the people of that land, the original inhabitants of that land. Now, Scripture also, the statement also said they are a bastard regime. So let me see if I can pull up another precept. One moment. One moment. Zechariah chapter 9. I'm going to start at verse 5. Okay, let me start at verse 4. Zechariah 9:4. Behold, the Most High will cast her out, and he will smite her power in the sea, and she shall be devoured with fire. This is what Iran is talking about doing to the Jewish state of Israel. Ashkelon shall see it and fear. Gaza also shall see it and be very sorrowful. And Ekron, for her expectation, shall be ashamed. And the king shall perish from Gaza, and Ascalon shall not be inhabited. And so you ask yourself, well, where are these places? Ascalon. You go into the Strong's Concordance, it tells you, Hebrew Strong's number 831, that Ascalon, Palestine, not the state of Palestine you see today, but the original Palestine in the biblical maps, which is that whole area that's being inhabited by the imposters, by the illegitimate regime. Gaza, where's Gaza? Hebrew Strong's 5804, a place in Palestine. And last but not least, Ekron. Where's Ekron? Hebrew Strong's 6138, a place in Palestine. All right. So we understand that this is talking about the area where we know today the state of Israel, and also the state referred to as Palestine, that whole area, which was the original land that our ancestors, the 12 tribes, inhabited. That's what Zechariah is referring to. And it says that fire is going to come to that land, and it shall not be inhabited. That's how we know not to be in that land in these times, because Iran is definitely going to bring fire to Israel's front door. They're not exempt. The same way they're going to bring it to America's front door. And here's the part I wanted to get to, verse 6. And a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of things. Ashdod, Hebrew Strong's 795, a place in Palestine. So now, with those scriptures, for those that may not have known, now you understand the statement made by the supreme leader of Iran when he says that we believe the Zionist regime is an illegitimate and a bastard regime. He's saying the scriptures verbatim, and he probably doesn't even know it, at least not in terms of the scriptures that we're reading. Maybe within his own religious texts and his own historical records, but the truth stretches across the board in some aspects. They know that those are not the people. All right? That's the reason why they refer to them as Zionists. They are imposters. Reading on, it says, as reported exclusively on WND in June, General Gholam Reza Jalali, head of Iran's passive defense organization, threatened the United States with bio-warfare that could contaminate American food, water, and animals. So they're not just talking about bringing missiles or what we would think is just the fire, but also plague warfare. Revelation 18 also tells us that Babylon will receive plagues before she's destroyed: death, mourning, and famine. So Iran is also saying that they can bring bio-warfare that can contaminate America's food, water, and animals. Those are plagues. And if it contaminates your food, that's a famine. Reading on, biological viruses are extremely clever and have the capability to distinguish their environment. These viruses can only be recognized in labs, he said, stressing that these agents are easily hidden in the environment and can cause widespread epidemics. So there's your plagues, there's your pestilence. Jalili said that viruses, parasites, botanical poisons, and animal poisons can be used in biological warfare. The environmental threats include humans, domesticated animals, poultry, environment, natural resources, food industry, and drinking water, he said. It has been reported here on many occasions that the regime's terror teams, along with Hezbollah and Al Qaeda, are present in the U.S., and that the regime's generals have openly stated that America will face terrorism attacks in any confrontation with the Islamic Republic. So what's going to happen when the wicked rulers of this world, when they're ready to bring about the destruction of America, they will be pushing Iran's buttons. They will push the button that will activate the sleeping giant in Iran to bring this terrorism and these plagues and this destruction to America's front door when they're ready. All right, and Obama and all the rest of the politicians will be on a plane, flying out the country, laughing, cruising off in the sunset at the dumbed down sheeple of America, that they believed in the rhetoric, believed in the change that Obama promised, believed in the hope and the new promises and the yes we can. They'll be laughing all the way to their bunkers. It says here, Hassan Abbasi, a former Revolutionary Guard commander and a current strategist, has stated that many of the cells are of Latin American origin, including from Mexico, and that several hundred targets have been identified in the U.S. for possible attack. If America dares to destabilize the Islamic Republic of Iran, it should have no doubt that we will destabilize America, Abbasi said. The 5+1 powers are due to continue talks with Iran on November 20th in Geneva. Iranian officials have stated that their right to enrichment is a red line that cannot be crossed. All right. So this is some of the boldest rhetoric coming from Iran and statements and quotes that they've said, especially of recent times. And it comes at a time with so much adversity going on in America, so much controversy going on surrounding America with Obamacare and with the all the things happening, the possible meltdown of Fukushima. It's like, what is worse of all of these things? You would think to yourself, all of them are bad. All of them just in themselves is bad enough. But imagine them all in sequence or simultaneously happening. And we know that the mark of the beast will be instituted before this destruction from Iran comes. We know that because of prophecy. But after they get the mark of the beast set and going, and they have accomplished everything they need to accomplish with America, so it can be expended, because America is now expendable, they'll get rid of America, and then the power goes back to the 10 horns, so that they can now bring this new world order to the whole earth through their original residence, which is Europe, the 10 horns. They can do it from there, and that's when Christ will come back at the tail end of the 1 hour with the beast, that the 10 horns will rule to take the 10 horns down. All right. So again, this article is profound on so many levels as far as prophecy is concerned. The articles we've read so far, everything is lining up perfectly. Scriptures has stated and said. And I don't know how much more confirmation anybody would need, for anybody that's not a believer in the Bible, anybody that doesn't believe who America is in prophecy, who Iran is in prophecy, what's going to happen. It's all laid out on the table.